You've spent years seeking approval, chasing external validation, and living by other people's standards. Yet the more you try to please others, the more you feel lost, disconnected, and unfulfilled. Why is it that no matter how much you achieve or how hard you try, the feeling of peace always seems just out of reach? This constant pursuit of acceptance isn't the path to freedom. Stoicism teaches us a different way, a way that empowers you to focus on what you can control and release what you cannot. It's about living authentically, letting go of the external noise, and finding inner peace within yourself. Imagine waking up every day, confident in your decisions, free from the pressure of others' opinions, and driven by your values. Stoic wisdom provides the blueprint to make this a reality. By embracing the Stoic mindset, you can start today to stop caring about others' judgments and focus entirely on your own growth and happiness. You are not alone in this struggle. Countless people face the same pressures. But the choice is yours. Will you continue to live for others, or will you embrace the power of focusing 100% on yourself? Stay with us, because what you're about to learn will change the way you live, think, and act. Let's dive into the practical steps that Stoicism offers to reclaim control of your life. Like this video and subscribe for more insights on how to build a life of true inner strength. 1. Inner peace starts with you. Life moves fast, and often it feels like we're running just to keep up. Every day we're bombarded with demands, expectations from family, coworkers, society, and even ourselves. The pressure can be overwhelming, and yet, no matter how hard we try to meet these expectations, peace still feels elusive. Why is that? Because we are living for others instead of ourselves. The truth is, finding inner peace starts with a simple but powerful decision to stop seeking validation from external sources and start focusing on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. Stoicism, a philosophy that has guided thinkers and leaders for centuries, teaches us exactly this principle. True peace and contentment come from within. It's about letting go of the chaos outside and returning to your center. Take, for example, the story of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist. In his book Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl describes how, even in the unimaginable conditions of concentration camps, he found inner peace by focusing on his ability to choose his response to suffering. Frankl understood that while he couldn't control his circumstances, he had the power to control how he reacted to them. This is Stoicism in action. Instead of trying to change the world around him, Frankl focused on cultivating peace inside himself. He lived the Stoic principle that peace is not found in external circumstances, but in the way we approach and accept those circumstances. Now let's challenge a common misconception. Many people believe that peace comes from solving external problems, getting a better job, fixing relationships, or accumulating wealth. While these things may bring temporary relief, they do not lead to lasting peace. As Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's greatest advocates, wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Stoicism teaches that peace doesn't come from conquering the world around us, but from conquering the mind. It's about taking back control from external forces and redirecting it inward. Here's where Stoicism offers a refreshing shift. Instead of relying on external circumstances to bring you peace, it urges you to look inward, to cultivate a mindset that can weather any storm. It's not about waiting for life to be calm. It's about learning to be calm, no matter what life throws at you. So how can we apply this to our everyday lives? It starts with recognizing what is within our control. What do you have the power to influence? Your emotions, your thoughts, your actions? Or are you allowing external opinions, events, and expectations to dictate how you feel? Take a moment to think about your daily routine. How much of it is dictated by what other people expect from you? How much of it is truly driven by what you want, what you value? Here's a simple practice to get started. Each day, take 5 minutes to sit in silence and reflect on your thoughts. Observe them without judgment. When a thought arises about something outside your control, perhaps a comment someone made or a task you feel you should do, acknowledge it, then gently redirect your focus back to yourself. Ask yourself, what can I control right now? Maybe it's your next action, your next thought, or simply your breathing. By consistently practicing this, you train your mind to focus on what's within your power. Let's consider a more practical example. Imagine you're facing a difficult conversation at work. You could spend all day worrying about how the other person will react, what they'll think of you, or whether you'll be criticized. This would pull you out of the present moment and fill you with anxiety, which only makes it harder to have a productive conversation. But if you remember the Stoic teaching to focus on what's within your control, you can redirect your attention. You can control how you speak, how you listen, and how you stay calm under pressure. You can choose to remain composed, regardless of the other person's response. Most of us are wired to think that peace comes after solving problems. But Stoicism tells us peace is a state of mind that we can cultivate right now, not a future goal that depends on external success. It's about realizing that while we can't control the actions of others or the outcomes of every situation, we can always choose how we react. Think about the last time you felt stressed or overwhelmed. Did you feel like everything was out of control? Perhaps it was work, family expectations, or something completely unexpected. Now, pause for a moment. What would it feel like if, instead of trying to control everything, you simply accepted that some things are outside of your hands? What if your peace didn't depend on those things? By accepting that we can't control everything, we actually open the door to true peace, peace that comes from within. At the core of Stoicism is this simple truth. When we stop living for the approval of others and stop allowing external pressures to dictate our happiness, we free ourselves. We gain control over our minds, and from there, we find a deeper, lasting peace. So as you move through the rest of your day, try this. When something outside your control stresses you out, pause, breathe, and shift your focus to what you can control. Recognize that your peace comes from your response, not the situation itself. This is the essence of Stoic thinking, and it's the first step toward finding the peace you've been searching for. 2. Accept yourself and live true to yourself. Every day we are bombarded with standards, society's expectations, family traditions, workplace norms. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that we must be a certain way to be accepted or to feel fulfilled. But what happens when we live for the approval of others? We become disconnected from who we truly are. We start to wear masks, pretending to be someone we're not, just to fit in. Here lies one of the greatest truths in Stoicism. The only way to truly live is to accept yourself as you are. This is not about being complacent or avoiding self-improvement. It's about acknowledging your strengths, your weaknesses, and most importantly, your uniqueness. Stoicism teaches that the first step to a fulfilled life is self-acceptance, without the need for validation from others. Think of it like this. If you're constantly looking for external approval, you're giving away your power. You're allowing others to decide your worth. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, often reflected on the importance of living according to his own values, not the values imposed by others. He believed that the only true judge of a person's character is the individual themselves. Take the story of Steve Jobs as an example. Jobs, known for his relentless pursuit of innovation, was often criticized for his unorthodox approach to leadership and his refusal to conform to traditional business practices. Yet, by staying true to his vision, he revolutionized the tech industry. He didn't wait for others to approve of his ideas. Instead, he accepted his own path, and in doing so, changed the world. This is the power of Stoic self-acceptance. In practical terms, this means learning to say no when something doesn't align with your values. It means recognizing your worth regardless of what others think of you. Begin by setting small boundaries, whether it's at work, with family, or with friends. As you start living more authentically, you'll notice that your self-confidence grows, the external noise quiets, and your true self shines through. So I encourage you to take a moment today and reflect. Where are you trying to please others? Where in your life are you wearing a mask, hiding your true self to fit in? Remember, living authentically doesn't mean perfection. It means being true to who you are, regardless of outside opinions. 3. Freedom comes from letting go of external approval. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're taking the first steps toward true freedom, the kind that comes from within, not from the validation of others. We all face the temptation to seek approval. Whether it's the likes on a post, praise from a boss, or even approval from family members, it can feel like our value is tied to how others perceive us. But here's the hard truth. Your value is not determined by others. This might be the most liberating realization you'll ever have. Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes from letting go of this need for external approval. When you stop seeking validation, you free yourself from the chains of judgment. You no longer live in fear of what others think of you. Instead, you live in alignment with your own values, your own vision for your life. Think about the last time you made a decision based on someone else's expectations. Did you feel at peace with that decision? Or did it leave you questioning your own desires and intentions? We've all been there. Choosing a path because it seemed right in someone else's eyes, only to end up feeling unfulfilled. But here's where Stoicism offers an alternative. You don't need anyone's permission to live your life. Epictetus, one of the central figures of Stoic philosophy, emphasized that we must take ownership of our lives and not let others' opinions dictate our actions. When you stop living for approval, you reclaim your power. Take the example of a man trying to live up to the expectations of his father. His father wants him to pursue a certain career, but deep down he feels passionate about another path. For years, he sacrifices his own happiness to make his father proud, but he's left feeling empty. It's only when he chooses to follow his own desires, to live by his own values, that he begins to feel free and fulfilled. Now, I'm not suggesting you ignore other people's feedback or become indifferent to relationships. Stoicism is not about disregarding the people around you, but rather understanding that your true worth and happiness come from within, not from what others think. Your life is yours to live, not theirs. As you continue this journey, I challenge you to let go of one thing that's been holding you back from pursuing your true desires. Maybe it's the need for validation from a colleague, or the fear of disappointing a family member. Start small. Practice making decisions that are true to your values, regardless of the outside world's approval. By letting go of external validation, you'll find a sense of freedom and clarity that allows you to truly live for yourself. You'll be empowered to make decisions with confidence, knowing that you are living in alignment with who you truly are. These two principles of Stoicism, self-acceptance and freedom from external approval, serve as powerful tools for reclaiming your life. They allow you to live authentically and confidently without the burden of societal expectations. The next step in this journey is understanding how to focus on what you can control. And that's where we'll go next. Stay with me, the best is yet to come. 4. Focus on what you can control. In a world that's constantly changing, where you're often caught up in situations beyond your control, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. You might find yourself stressed about things that have nothing to do with you, whether it's the actions of others, the unpredictability of life, or events in the world that you can't influence. But here's a question. How much energy are you wasting on things that you cannot control? Stoicism teaches us that the path to peace and personal strength begins with a single, powerful realization. You can't control everything around you, but you can control how you respond to it. This is the essence of focusing on what's within your control. The more you focus on things outside of your influence, the more you waste your energy and mental well-being. Consider this. Every day, you make countless decisions. Some of those decisions are about the way you think, feel, and react. For example, let's say you have a difficult conversation with a friend or a colleague. You can't control their behavior or how they respond, but you can control how you react, how you maintain your calm, and how you express yourself. When you choose to respond thoughtfully and mindfully, you regain control of the situation, and more importantly, your peace of mind. This is one of the most powerful aspects of Stoicism, learning to redirect your attention and energy to areas where you have influence. By doing this, you stop feeling powerless and start feeling empowered. Focus on your thoughts, your actions, and your choices. These are things you can control. Take the example of a job interview. You can't control whether or not you get the job, or whether the interviewer likes you, but you can control how prepared you are, how confidently you present yourself, and how you react to any questions or challenges they present. This focus on what you can control gives you a sense of agency and removes the anxiety about things outside your reach. So how can you apply this idea in your life today? Start by identifying one area where you've been feeling anxious or stressed. Maybe it's your relationships, your career, or even the news. Now ask yourself, what part of this can I control? Your emotions, your mindset, and your actions are within your power. By focusing on these aspects, you immediately regain control and stop letting external forces dictate how you feel. It's easy to get caught up in worries about things that we can't influence, but in doing so, we give up our power and waste our energy. As you start to focus on what's truly within your control, you'll begin to feel more grounded and less affected by the world around you. And as Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When you focus on controlling your thoughts and actions, you take the first step toward building a life of inner peace and fulfillment. As you continue this journey, I encourage you to take a small, practical action today. Find one area of your life where you're stressing over something you can't control, and consciously redirect your focus to something you can. It might be a small decision or action, how you react to a challenge, or how you choose to prioritize your day. But every step you take in this direction will bring you closer to the Stoic way of living. You've made it this far, and that's a powerful commitment to your own growth and wisdom. Stay with me, because the journey ahead holds even more transformative insights that will empower you to take control of your life and truly live in alignment with your values. Let's continue on this path together. You're on the right track. 5. Free yourself from unrealistic expectations. It's easy to feel like you're constantly falling short of expectations. Whether it's your career, your family life, or even the way you present yourself, the pressure to meet these often unrealistic standards can be overwhelming. You might find yourself trying to keep up with people on social media, striving for success based on someone else's metrics, or dealing with family expectations that don't reflect your true self. But here's the reality. Those expectations aren't yours. They don't define who you are. Stoicism teaches that much of the stress we experience comes from trying to meet external expectations that are beyond our control. These expectations can keep us on a treadmill of constant striving, yet never truly satisfy us. The freedom you're seeking comes from letting go of the pressure to meet unrealistic standards set by others. Take the example of someone constantly striving for a promotion at work, because that's the next step in their career. They may feel they need to have a certain title, make a certain amount of money, or impress others with their success. But is this really what they want? Or is it just a reflection of societal or familial expectations? The Stoic mindset would encourage them to ask, what truly brings me joy and fulfillment? Maybe it's not the next promotion, but a different path that aligns more with their values. The key here is recognizing that you don't have to follow a prescribed path just because others think you should. Release the need to conform and start living for yourself. Identify the expectations that aren't serving you and let them go. Once you do, you'll find yourself with more energy, focus, and inner peace. Take a moment today to reflect. What expectations have you been carrying that don't align with who you are? Where in your life can you set boundaries and let go of unnecessary pressures? By doing so, you'll begin to free yourself and create a life that truly reflects your values. 6. Regain confidence by letting go of others' opinions. We've all been there. The moment you make a decision, but then doubt starts creeping in, fueled by the fear of how others might perceive you. Whether it's a career choice, a personal relationship, or even how you present yourself to the world, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking approval from others. We worry about what people will say, how they'll judge us, and whether we'll be accepted. This constant need for external validation can leave us questioning our own worth and in turn lower our confidence. But here's the thing. True confidence comes not from the approval of others, but from your own sense of self-worth. When you rely on others' opinions to feel good about yourself, you're essentially giving them control over your happiness and your confidence. The Stoics, like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, knew that We can't control what others think of us, but we can control how we think about ourselves. Take the example of a man who constantly seeks praise from his colleagues. Maybe he dresses a certain way, takes on projects he doesn't care about, or changes his behavior to fit in, all in an effort to be accepted. In doing so, he loses sight of who he truly is, and over time, his self-confidence erodes. But imagine if instead, he started making decisions based on his values, not the expectations of others. What would happen if he focused on doing what was right for him, instead of trying to please everyone around him? His confidence would skyrocket. By accepting himself fully, without relying on validation from others, he would rebuild his sense of self-worth and regain his confidence. Stoicism teaches that you can build unshakable confidence by shifting your focus inward. When you start living in alignment with your core values and stop seeking approval from external sources, you begin to realize that your worth is not tied to the opinions of others. It's an inside job. This shift allows you to act with integrity, knowing that you are living true to yourself, regardless of how others might perceive you. A practical way to begin this shift is by identifying moments in your day where you are seeking validation or approval from others. It could be in a meeting at work, a conversation with friends, or even something as simple as posting on social media. When you notice this desire for validation, pause and remind yourself, my worth does not depend on their opinion. Take a deep breath and reframe your mindset. Focus on doing what's right for you and trust that that's enough. As you continue practicing this mindset, you'll begin to feel more at ease with who you are, and your confidence will naturally grow. You'll stop measuring your worth by others' standards and start living by your own. The more you let go of the need for external approval, the more empowered and confident you'll become. True confidence is about embracing who you are, flaws and all, and making decisions based on your own values. It's about standing firm in the knowledge that your self-worth doesn't need to be validated by anyone except you. The Stoics knew that the most powerful form of confidence comes when you let go of the need to please others and instead live authentically and unapologetically. So I encourage you today, take a moment to reflect. Where in your life are you seeking validation? What can you do to stop letting others' opinions define you? By gradually letting go of this need for external approval, you'll begin to reclaim your confidence and, more importantly, your sense of inner peace. 7. The first step toward building a peaceful life. You've made it this far, and I want to commend you for your commitment to growth. By embracing Stoicism, you've already taken the first step toward creating a more peaceful, purposeful life. But it's important to remember that this journey doesn't end here. The first step is just the beginning. It's the commitment you make today to focus on your inner world, to stop letting external pressures dictate your life. A peaceful life doesn't mean a life without challenges. It means learning to navigate those challenges with clarity, control, and inner strength. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control and to accept what we cannot. This perspective shifts the entire way we approach life, giving us the power to choose our responses, to act with integrity, and to cultivate a sense of peace, no matter the external circumstances. The practice of Stoicism is about daily, consistent action. It's about taking small steps each day to align your thoughts and actions with your values. It's about stopping the cycle of reacting to external chaos and starting to live with intention. Each decision you make, from the smallest choice to the largest, is an opportunity to practice Stoic principles. To begin, start by identifying one small habit that you can adopt today to focus more on your inner peace. It could be setting boundaries, taking time for self-reflection, or practicing mindfulness. Whatever it is, take that first step and commit to it. Remember, the peace you seek is not found in the world outside, it's found within you. And every small step you take today brings you closer to a more peaceful, fulfilling life. Keep moving forward. Stay true to yourself, and remember that the journey is just as important as the destination. By now, you've begun to see how Stoic principles can help you create a life of peace, freedom, and confidence. Keep these lessons in mind as you continue on your path. You're not alone in this journey. Every step you take is a step toward a better, more authentic life. As we close this journey together, it's important to remember that true peace, confidence, and freedom come from within. Stoicism teaches us that by focusing on what we can control, accepting ourselves without needing validation, and letting go of external pressures, we can live lives filled with purpose and inner strength. This isn't a one-time lesson. It's a practice. It's about making a daily commitment to focus on your own growth, to stop seeking approval, and to take ownership of your own happiness. Every small step you take toward living authentically will add up over time, leading to profound changes in your life. Think about the power of focusing on what you can control. In every situation, ask yourself, what part of this is within my reach? Focus on your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions. By doing so, you stop being at the mercy of external forces and take charge of your own peace of mind. Self-acceptance is key. The more you learn to embrace yourself, flaws and all, the more you'll recognize your inherent value. You don't need anyone's approval to be who you are. Confidence grows when you stop relying on others for validation. And as you continue practicing this, remember that change happens gradually. Don't rush the process. Focus on your journey and commit to these principles every day. Share your experiences in the comments below. How have these Stoic teachings impacted your life so far? I'd love to hear your thoughts. By consistently applying Stoic principles to your life, you'll build the foundation for lasting peace, inner strength, and freedom. This path isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. Now take a deep breath and start living with purpose today.